Alien classmates disrespect a Deathworlder, instantly regret it. In the far reaches of space lies Aetherius Prime, a massive orbital station built above a stunning gas giant with glowing rings. It is a place where the most talented beings from across the galaxy come together to learn and compete. Here, the future of many worlds is shaped, and excellence is the only measure of success. The Academy is alive with the sights and sounds of countless species. Towering reptilian beings walk alongside shimmering creatures made of light, while others float, crawl, or glide through the enormous halls. This is a place where diversity is celebrated, but also tested. For students, it is not just a school, it is a place where survival and success depend on skill, intelligence, and the ability to adapt. Humanity is a relatively new player on the galactic stage. Their planet, Earth, is considered a death world, a place known for its wild environments, unpredictable weather, and dangerous creatures. It is a world that demands toughness and adaptability from those who live there. Yet despite humanity's reputation for resilience, their place in the galaxy is not yet fully understood. Humans have been given the status of a protected species under the Interstellar Accord. This status is meant to ensure their safety as they adjust to life among the stars. But for many alien civilizations, the term protected carries a different meaning. It is often seen as a sign of weakness, as if humans are unable to stand on their own in the vast and competitive galaxy. In this challenging environment, one human cadet, Erin Hayes, steps into the academy with a quiet determination. She isn't tall or physically imposing, especially compared to many of the other students. But Erin carries something that cannot be measured by appearance: a sharp mind and an unshakable will. As Erin walks through the academy's towering halls, curious glances follow her. Some alien cadets whisper to each other, their voices carrying faint notes of amusement. To them, she is out of place. They see her as fragile, unremarkable, and undeserving of a place in an institution meant for the galaxy's elite. But Erin is not bothered by their stares or whispers. She knows what they think of humans, and she knows how wrong they are. Earth has shaped its people to survive against incredible odds storms that can destroy entire cities, animals that hunt with precision, and diseases that test even the strongest bodies. Erin carries that strength in her heart. She doesn't need to prove her worth to anyone. She knows the truth will speak for itself. The Academy is no ordinary school. Every task, every class, every challenge is designed to push students to their limits. Those who cannot keep up are quickly left behind. For many, the pressure is overwhelming. But for Erin, pressure is something she has lived with her whole life. It doesn't scare her, it drives her forward. As Erin looks at the endless corridors and the brilliant alien skies visible through the Academy's windows, she feels the weight of what lies ahead. This is not just about her. It's about humanity proving it belongs in this vast galaxy, and Erin Hayes is ready to show what humans are capable of. At the heart of this tale are characters whose differences highlight the challenges and possibilities of interstellar unity. Each one carries their own strengths, flaws, and motivations, shaping the events that unfold at Aetherius Prime. Erin Hayes, a cadet from Earth, stands as humanity's quiet representative. Small in stature compared to her alien peers, Erin doesn't rely on physical strength to make her mark. Instead, she possesses a sharp mind and an ability to adapt to any situation. Her goal is clear: to prove that humanity, despite being labeled as a protected species, deserves respect. Erin doesn't seek attention or approval, but she refuses to be underestimated. Every challenge she faces is another opportunity to show what humans can achieve. Galrath, a member of the Traleg species, serves as Erin's primary antagonist. The Traleg are known for their immense size and brute strength, and Galrath embodies these traits perfectly. With a towering frame covered in scaled armor, he dominates any room he enters. Galrath is driven by a belief in the superiority of his species, and he sees humans as little more than weak curiosities. His arrogance and competitive nature make him quick to belittle those he deems beneath him, and Erin's calm resilience becomes a challenge to his worldview. Supporting Galrath are his two closest allies, Rovik and Zenith. Rovik, an insectoid frame, is small and agile, with a sharp tongue and a knack for observing weaknesses in others. Zenith, an amorphous Lysar, is more reserved but follows Galrath out of a desire to align with the powerful. Together they form a trio that constantly tests Erin's patience and resolve, mocking her at every turn while seeking to maintain their own standing within the Academy. Finally, there is Commander Vesara, a Vrindarian instructor who oversees the Academy's training programs. With her multiple limbs and piercing gaze, Vesara commands respect from every student. She values discipline and growth, pushing cadets to their limits to prepare them for the realities of interstellar life. Though strict, Vesara is fair, and she recognizes potential in even the most underestimated individuals. Her role is pivotal in guiding Erin and ensuring that every cadet, regardless of their background, is given a chance to prove their worth. These characters, each with their unique strengths and motivations, set the stage for a clash of values, expectations, and resilience. As their paths intersect, they will test each other in ways they never imagined. Erin Hayes' first days at Aetherius Prime are anything but welcoming. As she steps into the Academy's bustling corridors, alien cadets around her pause for a moment, their Izor-equivalent sensory organs lingering on the lone human. Whispers ripple through the crowd, subtle but unmistakable. Words like protected and fragile are exchanged with faint amusement. For most, Erin is not a threat. She's a curiosity, a species to be pitied, not respected. This perception is not new to Erin. She has grown used to the skeptical looks, the dismissive attitudes, and the quiet mockery. But here, surrounded by towering aliens with immense strength, shimmering beings with mysterious powers, and others capable of unimaginable feats, the disdain feels sharper. Still, Erin refuses to let it show. Her calm gaze and steady steps betray no sign of unease. One alien in particular, however, is not content with just watching. Galrath, a towering Traleg with scales like polished stone and a presence that demands attention, quickly sets his sights on Erin. To him, humanity's protected species, status is proof of their inferiority. He sees Erin as an easy target, a chance to reaffirm his dominance among his peers. "Look at the little earthling," he sneers during their first shared training session, his deep voice carrying across the room. "What are you going to do? Outrun us? Maybe outthink us? You won't last a week here." Erin doesn't respond. She's learned that words are rarely enough to change minds, but her silence only fuels Galrath's taunts, and soon his allies Rovik and Zenith join in. Rovik, the insectoid Freyan, buzzes around Erin, clicking his mandibles in mock amusement. "Careful, human," he says, his tone dripping with sarcasm. "Don't strain yourself. You might break." Zenith, the amorphous Lysar, is less vocal but just as condescending. His form ripples with subtle waves of amusement as he sides with Galrath and Rovik, eager to remain in their good graces. The tension reaches its peak during the Academy's first physical training exercise. Each cadet is paired with another in a one-on-one sparring match designed to test their reflexes and adaptability. Erin is paired with none other than Galrath. The announcement draws murmurs from the gathered students, many of whom expect a swift and humiliating defeat for the human. The sparring arena is a circular platform surrounded by a force field, designed to simulate unpredictable terrain. As the match begins, Galrath wastes no time, charging at Erin with the full force of his massive frame. Erin sidesteps, her movements quick and precise. She knows she can't match him in strength, so she focuses on staying out of his reach, using his overconfidence against him. For a brief moment, Erin gains the upper hand. She uses a loose panel on the platform to trip Galrath, sending him sprawling. The crowd gasps, surprised that the human has managed to outmaneuver the Traleg. But the moment is short-lived. Enraged, Galrath regains his footing and launches a calculated attack. This time, Erin isn't fast enough. With a single sweep of his powerful tail, he knocks her off balance, sending her to the ground. The match ends with Erin pinned beneath Galrath's clawed foot. The crowd cheers, not for Erin's efforts, but for Galrath's predictable victory. As the force field drops, he leans in close, his voice low but filled with menace. "Stay out of my way, human. You don't belong here." Though bruised and battered, Erin meets his gaze without flinching. She says nothing, but her silence speaks volumes. Galrath smirks, interpreting it as submission, and walks away, leaving Erin to pick herself up. The mockery doesn't end there. Over the following days, Galrath and his crew escalate their harassment. They tamper with Erin's engineering projects, subtly sabotaging her work to make her appear incompetent. Rovik spreads rumors, whispering to other cadets that humans only survived on their planet through sheer luck. Zenith adds to the humiliation by isolating Erin socially, ensuring that others avoid her in shared spaces. Despite everything, Erin remains focused. She pours her energy into her studies, excelling in engineering and xenobiology. Her determination begins to attract the attention of Commander Vesara, who observes Erin's quiet resilience from afar. Vesara is not one to intervene lightly, but she recognizes potential when she sees it. The breaking point comes during a public demonstration of Erin's engineering project, a drone designed to adapt to extreme planetary environment. The drone performs flawlessly during the test, earning Erin rare praise from both instructors and a few cadets. But as the demonstration ends, Galrath, Rovik and Zenith take their sabotage to the next level. They tamper with the drone, causing it to malfunction spectacularly when Erin isn't looking. As the crowd laughs at the drone's failure, Erin's frustration boils beneath her calm exterior. She knows what they've done, but she also knows that confronting them directly will only make things worse. Instead, she silently resolves to outthink them, to prove her worth in a way that no amount of sabotage can undermine. For Erin, the conflict is no longer just about surviving the academy. It's about standing tall in the face of relentless adversity, about showing the galaxy that humanity is not a species to be underestimated. Erin Hayes may be outnumbered and underestimated, but she is far from defeated. The mockery, sabotage and isolation she faces from Galrath, Rovik and Zenith only fuel her resolve. Quietly, methodically, Erin begins to fight back, not with brute force, but with the one thing she knows they can't match: her ingenuity. The turning point comes during a complex engineering challenge assigned by Commander Vesara. The task: design a tool that can function in the unpredictable conditions of a simulated alien environment. For many cadets, the challenge seems overwhelming, but for Erin, it's an opportunity to shine. Drawing on Earth's history of survival against all odds, she develops a multifunctional drone capable of adapting to extreme heat, pressure, and magnetic interference. The day of the demonstration arrives, and Erin's project stands out. As the drone navigates the simulated environment with flawless precision, even the most skeptical cadets can't help but watch in silence. Commander Vesara nods approvingly, offering Erin a rare word of praise. "Efficient work, Cadet Hayes." The recognition stings Galrath. For someone who thrives on dominance, Erin's success feels like a threat to his carefully maintained image. He glares at her from across the room, his frustration palpable. Rovik and Zenith exchange uneasy glances, sensing the shift in attention. They realize Erin isn't as easy to dismiss as they'd hoped. In the days that follow, Erin's confidence grows. Though the sabotage hasn't stopped, she begins to anticipate their move. When Galrath tampers with one of her projects, Erin redesigns it overnight, presenting an even more advanced version the next day. When Rovik spreads false rumors about her, she counters by openly sharing her research and earning the trust of a few curious cadets. Slowly but surely, Erin starts to chip away at the barriers they've put in her path. But Galrath refuses to let it end there. He bides his time, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike back and humiliate Erin once and for all. That opportunity comes with the announcement of the Academy's most anticipated event, the survival simulation. The simulation is a high-stakes exercise designed to test every cadet's ability to adapt, cooperate, and think on their feet. Teams are assigned randomly, and cadets must navigate a hostile environment filled with challenges that range from predatory creatures to environmental hazards. The goal is simple: reach the extraction point within the time limit. When Erin's team is announced, her heart sinks. She's been paired with Galrath, Rovik, and Zenith. The crowd murmurs with barely concealed excitement. Everyone expects fireworks. For Galrath, the arrangement feels like a gift. "Looks like we'll have to carry the human," he sneers, already planning how he'll use the simulation to break her spirit. Erin, however, sees the simulation as another chance to prove herself. She knows it won't be easy, but she also knows that her survival instincts give her an edge her teammates don't understand. As they prepare for the exercise, she studies the simulated environment with laser focus, noting every detail that might help her navigate the challenges ahead. The simulation begins with a burst of chaos. The team is dropped into a dense alien jungle, its towering plants emitting an eerie bioluminescent glow. Almost immediately, Galrath takes charge, barking orders and dismissing Erin's suggestions. His arrogance leads them straight into trouble. Within minutes, they encounter a Predatora, sleek, six-legged creature with razor-sharp fangs. Galrath charges recklessly, only to be pinned by the beast. It's Erin who saves him, using a makeshift tool to distract the creature long enough for Galrath to escape. Instead of gratitude, Galrath's embarrassment only deepens his hostility. "Stay out of my way," he growls, refusing to acknowledge her quick thinking. The challenges pile up. Rovik becomes trapped in a web of sticky vines, his frantic movements only making the situation worse. Erin calmly assesses the situation and uses a sharp shard of metal to free him. Zenith, panicked by the unpredictable terrain, nearly sinks into a patch of quicksand. Again, it's Erin who steps in, improvising a rope from nearby plant fibers to pull him out. As the team pushes forward, Erin's expertise becomes impossible to ignore. She identifies edible plants, creates tools from scraps, and spots safe paths where others see only danger. Her adaptability, born from humanity's history on Earth, keeps the group alive. But despite her efforts, Galrath remains bitter, his pride refusing to let him admit her value. The real test comes when they face their final obstacle, a treacherous ravine with a narrow, unstable bridge. Galrath insists on crossing first, ignoring Erin's warnings about the bridge's structural integrity. Halfway across, the bridge begins to collapse. Galrath clings to the edge, his massive frame too heavy to pull himself up. For a moment, Erin hesitates. She knows this is her chance to let him fail, to teach him a lesson about underestimating her, but her instincts won't allow it. With steady hands and careful movements, she crafts a makeshift pulley system using the drone she built earlier. Against all odds, she rescues Galrath, pulling him to safety just as the bridge gives way entirely. By the time the team reaches the extraction point, the tension is palpable. Galrath is silent, his usual bravado replaced by a quiet, grudging respect. Rovik and Zenith avoid eye contact, their earlier mockery now replaced by an uneasy acknowledgement of Erin's strength. Though the simulation ends, the battle is far from over. Erin knows the real test lies in how the galaxy will respond to her success. But for the first time, her teammates begin to see her not as a fragile human, but as someone far stronger than they ever imagined. The survival simulation at Aetherius Prime is no ordinary training exercise. It is the Academy's ultimate test, a brutal, unforgiving challenge designed to push cadets to their limits and reveal their true capabilities. For Erin Hayes, it is also an opportunity to show what humanity is truly capable of. As the exercise begins, Erin and her team, Galrath, Rovik, and Zenith, are transported to the simulation site. A rugged alien landscape filled with dense jungles, jagged cliffs, and unpredictable weather. The objective is simple: navigate the terrain, overcome the challenges, and reach the extraction point within the time limit. But in practice, nothing about this simulation is simple. From the moment they land, tensions within the team are clear. Galrath immediately takes charge, dismissing Erin's suggestions with a sneer. "We don't need your help, human," he growls. Rovik and Zenith follow his lead, their condescending glances making it clear they share his opinion. Erin doesn't argue. She knows that actions speak louder than words, and this is her chance to prove it. The first challenge comes quickly. As the team navigates a narrow path through the jungle, they encounter a pack of predatory creature-sleek, four-eyed beasts with razor-sharp claws and teeth. Galrath charges forward, relying on brute strength to drive them away, but his aggression only provokes the creatures, and he is soon surrounded. Erin acts without hesitation. She scans the area, noticing a low-hanging branch covered in glowing, sticky sap. Using a sharp rock, she cuts the branch loose and throws it toward the creatures. The sap emits a strong, acrid smell, distracting the predators long enough for the team to retreat. Galrath, though visibly shaken, refuses to acknowledge her quick thinking. "I had it under control," he mutters. The challenges continue. The team encounters shifting terrain, with sections of ground that crumble under their weight. Rovik, the smallest and most agile, slips and becomes trapped in a fissure. Panicked, he clicks his mandibles as the unstable ground threatens to collapse further. Erin works quickly, tying together vines to create a makeshift rope. With careful precision, she lowers herself into the fissure and pulls Rovik to safety. "Don't thank me," she says flatly, brushing off his awkward attempt to express gratitude. "Just try not to fall next time." As they push deeper into the simulation, the environment grows increasingly hostile. Acidic rain begins to fall, burning through foliage and forcing the team to seek shelter. Erin spots a hollowed-out tree large enough to accommodate them. Inside, she uses her knowledge of Earth's survival techniques to fashion crude coverings from leaves and bark, protecting them from the rain. Galrath watches silently, his usual arrogance replaced by a grudging awareness of Erin's resourcefulness. But the turning point comes when the team reaches a wide, open plain. At its center stands a massive metallic structura replica of an ancient alien ruin. The ruins are surrounded by a network of pulsating, glowing orbs suspended in midair. As the team approaches, the orbs begin to move, emitting sharp, high-pitched sounds. It quickly becomes clear that these orbs are not just obstacles, they are sentient, reactive defense systems designed to target anything that moves. Galrath insists on charging through, convinced that his strength will allow him to reach the ruin unscathed. "Stay behind if you're scared," he says, glaring at Erin. But the moment he steps into the field, the orbs spring into action. Pulses of energy shoot toward him, narrowly missing as he dodges and weaves. His speed and strength are impressive, but it's clear he won't make it far without help. Erin studies the orbs carefully, noticing a pattern in their movements. She realizes they are reacting to sound and vibration rather than sight. "Stop moving," she shouts, her voice cutting through the chaos. Galrath hesitates, glancing back at her with a mix of frustration and desperation. "Trust me," she adds, her tone firm. Reluctantly, Galrath stops, and the orbs cease their attacks. Erin quickly devises a plan. Using a small metal plate from her drone, she creates a makeshift decoy, throwing it into the field to draw the orbs away. The orbs swarm toward the decoy, allowing the team to move through the field safely. By the time they reach the ruins, Galrath's attitude toward Erin has shifted. He doesn't say anything, but his silence speaks volumes. Rovik and Zenith exchange uncertain glances, clearly re-evaluating their earlier assumptions about the fragile human. Inside the ruins, the final challenge awaits. The team discovers an enormous alien sentinella towering, mechanical guardian programmed to prevent intruders from reaching the extraction point. The sentinel activates as they enter, its glowing eyes locking onto the team. Galrath charges once again, determined to prove his strength. But the sentinel is far more advanced than anything he's faced before. With a single swipe, it knocks him aside, leaving him stunned and vulnerable. Erin steps forward, her mind racing. She remembers the drone she designed for the earlier engineering challenge, which she brought along as part of her kit. Though it was tampered with earlier, she managed to repair it during the simulation. Activating the drone, she sends it toward the Sentinel, using its adaptive programming to analyze the machine's weak points. As the Sentinel focuses on the drone, Erin spots a control panel embedded in the wall. She sprints toward it, dodging falling debris and stray energy blasts. Using her engineering skills, she hacks into the panel, overriding the Sentinel's programming and shutting it down just as it prepares to strike. The room falls silent, the Sentinel's glowing eyes fading to black. For a moment, no one speaks. Then Rovik breaks the silence. "That was incredible," he says, his voice tinged with disbelief. Galrath, still catching his breath, looks at Erin with an expression she's never seen before. "Respect. You saved us," he admits grudgingly. "I didn't think, He trails off, unable to finish the sentence. Erin doesn't gloat or lecture. Instead, she simply says, "We made it. That's what mattered." The team reaches the extraction point with seconds to spare, the simulation officially complete. As they are transported back to the academy, Erin reflects on what the exercise has revealed, not just about her, but about humanity as a whole. They may be labeled as a protected species, but that label doesn't define their strength. It only hides it from those too blind to see. The survival simulation had pushed Erin Hayes and her team to their limits, but the final moments would reveal something no one, not even Erin's antagonist Chad, expected. After overcoming relentless predators, harsh terrain, and dangerous traps, Erin and her team stand at the edge of the extraction zone, but their relief is short-lived. Blocking their path is the simulation's ultimate challenge. A towering alien apex predator, its sleek, muscular form shimmering with bioluminescence. Its sharp, predatory eyes lock onto the team, and a guttural growl rumbles from deep within its chest. Galrath, still battered from his earlier mistakes, tightens his grip on a jagged piece of debris he's been using as a weapon. "Stay back," he snarls, stepping forward. "I'll handle this." But Erin knows better. The predator is unlike anything Galrath has faced before. Its movements are calculated, its intelligence evident in the way it sizes them up. This isn't an opponent that can be defeated with brute strength. "Wait," Erin says, her voice calm but firm. "You'll only make it worse." Galrath hesitates, his pride warring with the realization that Erin might be right. The predator lowers itself, muscles coiled, ready to strike. Time is running out. Erin steps forward, raising a hand to stop her team from intervening. She watches the predator carefully, studying its movements, its posture, and its behavior. It reminds her of the apex predators on Earth: wolves, big cats, and other creatures that rely on dominance and territorial instincts to survive. She realizes the key isn't to fight the creature, but to outthink it. Drawing a deep breath, Erin slowly lowers herself to the ground, making herself appear smaller, less threatening. The predator tilts its head, its glowing eyes narrowing as it observes her. Erin begins to mimic its behavior, lowering her gaze to avoid direct eye contact while subtly shifting her position to block its path to her team. It's a calculated risk. A wrong move could provoke an attack, but Erin knows she has no other choice. The predator steps closer, its growl softening into a low rumble. Erin reaches into her utility belt and pulls out a small container of glowing bioluminescent spores she had collected earlier in the simulation. She scatters the spores on the ground between herself and the creature, their faint light creating a barrier of sorts. The predator pauses, sniffing the air. Its posture relaxes slightly, its curiosity piqued. Behind her, Rovik whispers, "What is she doing?" But neither Galrath nor Zenith responds. For once, they are watching Erin with something akin to awe. The predator sniffs the spores, its glowing eyes flickering. Erin takes a slow step back, guiding it away from her team and toward a cluster of nearby plants. The creature follows, its aggression replaced by cautious interest. Finally, it lets out a soft growl before retreating into the dense foliage, leaving the path to the extraction zone clear. Erin turns to her team, her face calm but her heart racing. "Let's move," she says simply, as if what just happened was routine. As they cross the extraction zone, the simulation ends, and the team is transported back to the Academy's main hall. There, Commander Vesara waits, her piercing gaze scanning each cadet as they step forward. When she looks at Erin, there is a flicker of something rarely seen approval. Vesara addresses the group. This simulation was not just about survival, it was about strategy, adaptation, and understanding the environment. Cadet Hayes demonstrated all of these qualities under extreme pressure. Her actions ensured her team's success. The room falls silent as her words sink in. Galrath, usually brimming with arrogance, steps forward. His expression is unreadable, but when he speaks, his voice carries a note of sincerity. "You saved us," he says, his gaze fixed on Erin. I didn't believe humans could." He trails off, struggling to find the word. Erin meets his eyes and replies evenly. "It's not about what you believe, it's about what we do." The moment is brief, but it marks a turning point. For Galrath, Rovik, and Zenith, it is the first time they see Erin not as a fragile human, but as someone who embodies the resilience and ingenuity of her species. For Erin, it is validation not of her worth, but of humanity's place in the galaxy. As the cadets disperse, Erin lingers for a moment, her gaze drifting to the stars visible through the Academy's high windows. The galaxy had underestimated humanity, but that was beginning to change. Erin knew there would be more challenges ahead, but for now she allowed herself a quiet moment of pride. Humanity had taken its first step toward earning the respect it deserved, and Erin Hayes had led the way. The survival simulation may have ended, but the lessons it imparted were just beginning to take root. For Erin Hayes, it wasn't about personal glory. It was about proving that humanity, often dismissed and misunderstood, possessed strength far beyond what others could see. Back in the Academy's debriefing chamber, Commander Vesara reviews the team's performance in front of a gathered audience of cadets. Her gaze is as sharp as ever, but there's a hint of approval in her tone as she speaks. This exercise was a test of resilience, adaptability, and teamwork. Cadet Hayes not only upheld these principles but carried her team when others faltered. It is a testament to her capabilities and to her species. The room falls silent. Cadets who had once dismissed Erin now look at her with newfound respect. The whispers of fragile and protected have vanished, replaced by quiet acknowledgement of her strength. For the first time, Erin doesn't feel like an outsider. Galrath steps forward, his usual arrogance replaced by something unexpected: humility. "I was wrong," he admits, his deep voice steady but strained. "I thought humans were weak. I thought you didn't belong here. But you saved us, me, and proved I was the one who didn't understand." Erin regards him calmly, her expression neutral. "It's not about being stronger or smarter," she replies. "It's about surviving, learning, and helping each other. That's what we do." As the cadets disperse, Erin feels the weight of the moment settle. Humanity, often doubted and underestimated, had taken a step forward in the eyes of the galaxy. And though the journey ahead would still be difficult, Erin Hayes had shown the galaxy that Earth's strength was not something to be ignored. Humanity's strength lies not in what others see, but in how we rise to every challenge, no matter the odds. Erin Hayes showed the galaxy what it means to be human, resilient, resourceful, and unstoppable. What do you think about humanity's role in the vastness of the universe? Could we truly thrive among the stars? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let us know what you'd do if faced with the challenges Erin overcame. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more captivating sci-fi tales. Your support helps us bring these stories to life and inspires new adventures in the worlds of science fiction. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the unknown.